Coach Themba, thank you very much for your time. I know this is a very important training session for you guys as you prepare for the playoffs. How are you feeling?
Morning, my brother, and thanks also for interviewing me. So far so good in terms of our preparation. I'm feeling well. I'm not nervous. It's just a beautiful game. The boys just have to enjoy themselves.
Coach, before we get into the important game, I would like us to look back at your season. If you were to sum it up, how would you sum up your season up to so far?
Yeah, it was a very tough season because if you can check, I came on board when the team was position 8 and the number one. The difference between the number one and the team was a 12 point. It was a mountain to climb in terms of making sure the things are happening, but due to some changes of the individual players, the personnel, I think we managed to get where we are now. It was not an easy thing in terms of the boys to adapt according to the philosophy, the way I wanted them to play as a technical team. But at the end of the day, they're getting there. We are not yet there, but the boys are coming all right so far. And again, the signings that we did, I think, help us a lot because if you can check, we managed to put in some few players that are experienced, that have played. I was using them last season when we won the league, but we didn't go to the playoff due to some cases. So I think it was almost a continuous thing because we managed just to bring back those players. That's why we are where we are now.
Coach, just to take you back, when exactly did you join the team so that I can understand where you were at the time you joined?
I think I've joined the team. It was on November. I think last week of November because we were going to play the last game on the 12th against Nawane Gunners, where my first team was against Vets, where we won 1-0. But not convincingly. Then we went to play Nawane Gunners away. We lost that game 3-1. Then we said no, let the boys go back to rest. Then we'll see everything January. So it was fortunate for us because when we came back January, we had a chance to prepare that 22 days because they gave us a break. It was a AFCON, a FIFA break. So we managed to prepare the team from there.
Coach, I know you were not there when the team started, but the team started poorly. 3 losses in a row, that was the start.
Yeah.
But if you look now, you are top of the table, you are going to the playoffs. For you, where would you say was the turning point of the team?
The turning point, I think, it was the experience. You can't buy experience. In whatever league, for you to overcome it, you need to balance between the youngsters and the senior players. So if you're playing with only senior players, I think that one it can take you probably maybe 4 seasons or 3 seasons because they need to work as a team. They need to get used to one another. But in terms of the experience, the more you sign players that are used to this league, and mix with the youngsters at the same time, I think the results in terms of making sure that your spine is okay, your goalkeeping department, you don't concede a lot of goals, you'll be able to win any match. Even if you can play a first division team or a PSL team, as long as your team is working hard, more especially when they don't have a ball.
Coach, we'll come back to that about your defensive record. But I think if you look at your last 6 games, 6 straight wins, you finished very strong.
Yeah, I told the players because all of them they can see that after losing the game against Nawane, I told them that no, let's go back and refresh. We'll come back. We'll talk everything after the festive season. When we come back, we sit down and calculate the points compared from last season, because the whole thing of dividing the teams to be two two streams. I've played it last season, so I calculated the point. I said no, if we can manage not to drop any point with the 9 points that we have, we can be able to be on top, or either we need to finish good. So it was an amazing job at the end of the day, because we managed to make sure that we fixed our defensive. Then we managed to grab whatever point that we were able to grab. My job was only to emphasize in terms of defense. That's why, if you can check, we managed to keep almost 17 sheets.
And that defensive record, coach, shows you only conceded 10 goals in 16 games, which was the least number of goals conceded in your stream, which shows that defensively you were strong. But you only scored 20 goals in 16 games, which is just averages over a goal per game. But you still managed to be top of the table. Do you think perhaps that the focus was too much on defense, hence the number of goals that you scored?
Yeah, just to correct you on that one, we only considered 10 goals, because second round we managed to concede only 4, because we lost 3-1. Then we conceded 1 in all the games second round. So it was 6 plus 4, then it's 10. What was your another question again?
I was saying you conceded 10, which was the least
number
in the league, which shows a good defensive record.
Yes.
But my question is, the goals you scored 20.
Yes.
Which now, if we were to average it, that is just above a goal per game. And I'm saying, perhaps, do you think the focus was too much on defense, hence the good defensive record, but in terms of goal scoring, you were not so good there?
I think that is our focus, because if you can check, every player has been born playing football. He hasn't been born playing defending with defending with the ball. So our job as coaches, we need to make sure that we teach those boys, because that's where they drop their head. They don't want to work hard, more especially when they don't have the ball. So offensively, they know what to do as long as you put the structure there. Individual brilliant, they have what they have in their mind, but defensively, that's where we must not compromise.
Coach, you also made it to the last 32 of the Nedbank Cup. Most teams you've seen in the past, if they do well in the Nedbank, they tend to lag behind in the league. But in your case, you made it to the last 32, and we speak today, you are the champions of your stream. What did you do to ensure that your run in the Nedbank Cup doesn't affect your league form?
Yeah, on that one, I think we wanted to finish this quarter-final in the Nedbank Cup, because there's no difference between an NFD team and the SAPC team now, because I think in terms of the knowledge of the coaches, players are able to adapt quicker tactically. We managed to play a PSL team before we go and play the Nedbank. So the only thing that we did, we said no, if we can't reach the Nedbank, let's just focus on the league. When we played our first game of the second round, we played 0-0. It was discouraging at the same time, but we keep on pushing the boys and telling them that no, this is not the end of the world. You know, guys, we still have 34 points also, because if you can check, we are going to finish on 36 points if we win all our games. Now we have to push for 34 points. We went to JBM at Alexandra. We play a draw again. So again, they keep on checking us. What are we going to say? We said, if you don't want to win it, if we don't win it, we must finish good. At the same time, 32 points is the way to go. Fortunately, we managed to get there, and we also calculated the games that our opponent the team that is sitting on top, that is going to play the other team that is going to play, that is going to be a tough game for them, and we're also going to play them. So it was helping us, because from 12 points we have to reduce to 9 points.
Coach, you mentioned playing against the likes of JPM, and as part of your journey to winning the stream, you were able to beat the local leaders at the time, Hollywood Thunder. You were able to beat Vate, so you were able to beat the teams that you were competing with, challenging for the league. How important were those wins?
They were important, because for you to be the best, you need to play with the best and beat the best. So once you're beating the best, it increases your chances of winning everything. Because if you play a draw with them, it will remain in terms of the point. It will remain the same. So if you're beating them, it's either you taking them down, then you also climbing to go up there. So that's why we managed to beat all the teams that are on top of us.
Coach, you mentioned that you wanted to go as far as the quarterfinals in the Nedbank Cup, and in the league you wanted to finish a best possible finish, even if you don't win it, but finish up high.
Yes.
But when you came into the team, what was your mandate?
It's win.
So you wanted to win the stream.
I want to win everything. I want to win. I want to win, even if I don't get what I want. But at the end of the day, I must win.
You must win.
I'm a coach that wants players to win.
Okay. Coach, 180 minutes of football, hopefully we don't go to extra time, stands between you and the sport in the national playoffs. How prepared are you for this task?
We are prepared. We haven't changed anything. Defensively, I think the boys, they are marvelous. They doing whatever thing to make sure that we don't concede. So I don't see any challenge or any problem. They can have the ball. We'll respect them. We'll give them the ball, but they have to get the spaces. Unfortunately, in football, when you're playing football, you need to get spaces for you to score. So if they don't get the spaces, I think they're going to be frustrated. Once they start being frustrated, yes, it's an advantage for us to win at home, and it will be a disadvantage again if you don't win at home, because we don't know what's going to happen away. But in terms of defending, we'll do our best.
Coach, the home ground advantage, we know you play your games here, but this big game specifically is going to Tsakane. Do you think perhaps you'll lose your home ground advantage by taking this game to Tsakane?
Not as such, because some of the players, they know the field. Last season we were using Tsakane, and Tsakane is a huge field also, and it's open, it's wide. As you know that we're playing with an out and out wingers, so it will be a challenge for the opponent to cover those distances, because we're trying with our number 10 to complement the wingers. So it will force their fullback also to create a 2v1. So it's a big challenge.
Coach, how much do you know about Masia, your opponents? Have you seen them play, and have you been able to spot some weaknesses that you can exploit?
Yeah, little, because I know La Masia is the team that used to play, normally play the tournament, and they do well each and every time when they're playing the tournament. Where they played Discovery, I think they won last year, Discovery, and in terms of position also they are good. Set pieces, they don't lose the ball. It's the team that doesn't lose the ball mostly. As I've said, that sometimes we have to respect them, give them the ball, then we make sure that we stay where we're supposed to stay in terms of defensively, and see what's going to happen next.
Your opponents in their stream, they also have the best defensive record. They are tied with Highlands, and you also have the best defensive record. So defensively, both teams seem to be solid. Are you not worried that you might go into this game and not see goals?
Not as such, because if I can check, in all the games that they've played, 70% of their game they've conceded goals. So it's an advantage for us. because we managed to keep 17 sheets continuously. So it tells you that in terms of defense we're doing well. So, but in terms of scoring, we're scoring each and every game. I think the chances of winning us the game, they are plenty.
Coach, this game is a two-legged game. You play home and then you go away. It's not like a normal game where you just play. You can't like a final where you just play one game, give it your all, and the winner takes all. You have to play them at home. You play at home and you go away. Will your approach be the same at home and away, or will it change? How are you approaching these two games?
It will depend. It will depend on the results, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully we'll win the game. Then you'll see when we're playing them away.
So if you are able to get a win tomorrow, then when you go away, the focus is then on ensuring that they don't score and you protect your lead.
No, it will depend.
It will depend.
It will depend.
So you're not giving it away.
No, yes, it will depend.
It will depend. Coach, thank you very much for your time. Wishing you all the best for tomorrow. We are hoping for an exciting game, and we are hoping that those who emerge will represent Gauteng very well in the national playoffs.
Thanks, my brother. Thanks. Sharp.